Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to a very spooky episode of the Movie Goyles. The Movie Ghouls.
Movie ghouls.
Today, we're going to watch The Babadook.
I
Teal is terrified.
don't like scary movies and this making me watch it and I don't want to.
Teal's bad with scary movies. I took her
Yeah.
to see, what was that movie with Emily Blunt? The Quiet one.
Oh, Quiet Place.
The Quiet Place.
Quiet Place? Yeah.
Yeah. She just fucking covered her face through the whole thing. Yeah, just hid.
I hid in my shirt the entire time.
Which is hilarious for
I
me.
am purposely wearing a large t-shirt so that I can do it again today. I don't like scary movies. They have good stories. I do like the stories behind most scary movies. I don't like being spooked.
Oh, and I am on the opposite end of that spectrum. Scary movies are my favorite movies. I love horror. I love being scared. I just think they're fucking fantastic. And The Babadook is no exception. This is directed by Jennifer Kent. It's her directorial debut.
Ooh, I know nothing about this.
It's an
I'm going in
Australian
blind. Oh,
film.
fun.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix. If you don't know, it's
It's peasy.
real good.
Oh, God,
I'll tell you a little bit about
scared,
it.
I'm so
Okay.
scared.
Actually, she had done like a short film,
Oh.
and then I think in like 2001 or something, and then turned it into a full length
Oh.
feature film for debut. It
What
stars
year is this from? Sorry.
2014.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And it stars Essie Davis, who you'll know from Game of Thrones as Lady Crane. So she's in, I think in like season 6, she's in a theater troupe, and Arya's sent to kill her by Jack and
liked
Hagar.
her.
Yeah. So
Oh.
she's the main character in this, and her son is played by Noah Wiseman. And
Who's
they're
that?
like,
What do I know who that is? I know who that is.
oh, do you?
I feel like.
You know what? I should have
Maybe?
looked, and I'm going to look real quick. Can you just...
I don't know. That name just sounds kind of familiar. I could be totally wrong.
He's great. He's just an annoying little shit.
Oh, he's a child.
In like the first half.
Well, you
He's
know
the
I
child.
fucking hate
But no, you
children.
come around to him eventually.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, I don't know if you know who he is. He's known for The Babadook. Oh, he's in The Gift. Did you ever see The Gift? Probably.
Did actually
Oh,
watch.
you did?
Oddly enough, yes, we did watch that movie.
He's in that movie. That was
Interesting.
2013.
Oh shit.
Huh. Feels like only yesterday I made Dan watch that with me. So this movie's about a single mother plagued by the violent death of her husband as she battles with her son's fear of a monster lurking in the house, but soon discovers a sinister presence all around her. Ooh, spooky. And I chose the cocktail today because we got confused. I think I don't know.
But also, I know nothing about this, and I made brunch, so
Yeah, she made brunch and she picked out a delicious mimosa for us to have. So I chose this cocktail.
Yeah. We're doing a double feature today. Very excited. 2 episodes, 1 day.
Okay, I've got the cocktail here.
Oh.
You know what? Like mainly just chose it because we had half of the ingredients already.
Yeah.
But I was excited when I saw this. It's called the Bell Tower cocktail.
It sounds spooky.
It sounds spooky. It looks spooky. It has an ounce of white rum, an ounce of hazelnut liqueur. We used Frangelico. 1 ounce or half an ounce of citrus liqueur. We used.
We used triple sec for that.
We used triple sec.
And Malibu for the white rum.
Yeah, because it's kind of got a tropical feel, so we thought Malibu would be good.
And I need some sunshine in this scary thing.
And then a 1/4 ounce of grenadine syrup, which we kind of drizzled on top, and it dripped down like spooky blood.
Spooky blood.
Ice cubes, orange slice, pineapple garnish.
And pineapple juice. Do we say
And pineapple juice. You top it up with pineapple juice. And we have like a little spooky skeleton
Little crossbones.
cocktail stick. I'm excited for this one. It's going to be good. It's going to be strong.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Cheers to a spooky time.
To a spooky time.
To the movie going.
Ooh. Well, that is fucking delicious.
Coconut and pineapple, and it's really nice for this sunny day. Ooh, that's good, hey?
Ooh, that's gonna make me feel so much better when I'm terrified in 5 minutes.
It tastes happy. It tastes like a happy
I love
drink. It doesn't make me feel spooky, but it looks spooky.
I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I'll just keep drinking.
You can't be scared if you're drunk.
That's not how life works.
Okay, I'm excited. Let's get into it, and we'll be back in a little bit. Oh, don't be scared. I'll hold your hand.
Okay. Bye.
I'd love to know what you thought. Initial reaction.
I mean, I've actually seen scarier.
Mm-hmm.
It was not that scary.
Well, it's not like in your face
Yeah.
horror, no. It's more about grief than horror.
Yes. Fair enough. I don't know what my thoughts are yet. You talk for a bit, and I will think of my thoughts.
I'll tell you a little bit about the director, Jennifer Kent.
Excellent. I would like that. Please and thank you.
This is also a little depressing because when she was in her late teens, she decided she wanted to be an actress because she didn't know that women could direct films.
Well, that's...
And this was like late 80s, maybe early 90s. After a career of teaching acting and starring in a few television roles, and I think like a movie role, she lost interest in acting, and she wrote Lars von Trier, he's a Danish director and screenwriter.
Oh, okay.
He did like Melancholia, Nymphomaniac, Antichrist, Dogville. Have you seen any of those?
No, I've heard of Melancholia.
It's pretty great.
It's pretty great.
Like they're all super fucked up.
Yeah.
But she wrote to him and she asked to study under him as she felt the idea of art or acting school. I wrote art school. I don't know what I meant.
Anyway.
She found it repellent and he allowed her to assist him on the set of Dogville, which is like pretty dope. That's like a Nicole Kidman movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then in 2005, like I mentioned earlier, she directed a short film called Monster, where I think that's where she introduced the Babadook, and then...
Yeah, I read on IMDb, there wasn't much trivia, but she called it the Baby Babadook.
Yeah, and then she adapted it into a feature film. So I love this movie. I think it's so good. The director of The Exorcist tweeted that he's never seen a more terrifying film, and he like doubled whatever it did at the box office essentially after tweeting that. I think the budget was like $2 million, and it did 4 point something million at the box office, and I think like 10 million worldwide.
That's awesome.
Its release, yeah. I read a little something. This is an Australian film and an Australian director, and I read that apparently Australian like films by Australian people don't do well in Australia.
Oh, really?
Because they'll wait until they hear that a film's done well elsewhere, and then they'll watch it.
But I think that's like Canadian shit, right? Like,
yeah, maybe.
We all know when Canadian stuff is on TV or on things, and it's...
Oh, but I feel like there's so many good Australian horror films.
Yeah.
I'm super into it.
But I guess maybe we're not Australian, so...
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, because I was thinking about Canadian stuff, and like, I love Canadian film, but it's not the same as Hollywood stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, that always is the best, or not even the best, but just gets the most, I don't know.
Money pumped into it?
I guess, yeah, fair.
She says she's vocal about the lack of female directors in horror cinema. She said it'll shift as the world shifts. Women do love watching scary films. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do.
It's been proven, and they've done all the tests. The test subjects are half men, half women. And we know fear. It's not like we can't explore the subject, she said, which I'm like,
yeah,
so accurate.
Yeah.
Right?
Because for the most part, what do men have to fear? And what do women have to fear?
Yeah.
We got more.
We got a lot to fear.
We get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was an interesting quote, and it's interesting to think about. Because even when you watch a scary movie directed by a man, it's usually starring a woman. It's usually through the point of view of a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's just...
But yeah, it's never meant
an interesting
for
thought.
Women necessarily.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that the idea of making a film, like a horror film, but with women in mind and what would scare them would probably scare everybody.
Yeah.
It's
just
really
cool to view it through the eyes of a woman, I think.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have a lot of thoughts
yet.
I can
keep going.
I'm
it's
so sorry.
okay.
You keep going.
I didn't want to keep talking.
You go.
So basically, how you can look at this movie is the Babadook represents like the 5 stages of grief. The first being denial. She doesn't really like to talk about her husband's after his death, and she kind of like isolates herself from everybody that wants to talk about it. She puts all of his things down in the basement, all of his pictures and his clothes and his instruments and everything. The second stage is anger. You see her get progressively worse throughout the movie, especially towards her son. And then fear, bargaining, and acceptance. So again, you kind of see these stages throughout the movie, and then in the end, she finally kind of accepts what's happening, and she like kind of casts him down to the basement, and she's I don't know. They live with the Babadook after that, and they manage it, and she's probably more accepting in the end of her husband's death. Like she says that she sees her husband in her son, which she never would have said before, and the two of them are more peaceful after that point. So that's kind of how I view it. What's more scary than like losing somebody, right? Like that's the scariest thing of all in dealing with the grief of that. So this movie isn't an in-your-face horror movie. It's got a few like little creepy little jumps and scares and everything, but it's more about like inner turmoil
That
of dealing with
I
the
love
death of the
shit like
husband.
that.
I know
That's so fascinating. I'm
so
glad you told me
fascinating.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it so much more interesting.
Yes.
Because it's that's
It's got
really
layers.
cool.
It's got layers,
got
and a lot of
layers.
things
It's
don't
a
have layers. It's
friggin'
just
onion.
scary for the sake of being scary a lot of times, and I don't like
Yeah.
that. I don't like in your face gore and stuff like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of meant to freak you out. But this is like, it makes you think about it, and it kind of sticks with you for a while. And the more you think about it, or the more you see it, you kind of take something new away every time.
Yeah.
That's the kind of horror that I'm into.
I'm glad I didn't know because I just looked on IMDb, but I didn't know about the grief stages. That's really interesting. That's fascinating. I find that shit really cool. I like that about because you like you said, most horror films it just feels like I'm gonna be a scary movie just because I'm gonna be a scary movie.
Yeah.
I love when there's shit involved. I love when there's layers.
There's layers.
There's layers.
Because women have layers.
Women have layers.
We put it in our work.
We cake.
We're cake. And then I was telling Teal earlier, just for some levity, the Babadook is a gay icon now because when it, well, this is what I read. When it was put on Netflix, they tagged it as an LGBTQA movie. And so people kind of noticed that and they ran with it. And at the like LA Pride Parade, there was like Babadook symbols everywhere. And they're like, yeah, he has a fabulous top hat, a long androgynous coat. He wrote a book about himself. And I'm like, that's so good.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like horror movies. I don't like scary movies.
I'm sorry for doing this to you, and I'm gonna do it again.
It's fine. You're allowed to. We have to have variety. I like it more now that you said about that. Because before I'm like, I didn't like it. It was dumb. I didn't like it. But
Why did you think it was dumb?
No, I didn't think it was dumb. I don't know. I just don't really like horror films. I don't know.
You just couldn't get into it.
No.
I don't like watching horror during the day either, but we had to.
Well, because it's scary. You don't want to watch it at night.
But it's better when it's scary.
Okay, we'll watch the next one at nighttime. I'll get scared. We get spooks. Spooks and ghouls.
Spooks.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I just find them kind of pointless. Because partway through, I'm like, okay, can we just, like, get to the point
Right.
of this thing? I'm like, is it going to come out? What's happening? Like, let's just move this along here. It felt a little bit slow in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was,
Yeah, I noticed you getting a little restless.
Yeah, I get a little. But yeah, I wasn't not enjoying it. Like, I'm glad we watched it. We'll watch. Yeah, I'm in. But
I think she's such a good actress too.
yeah,
See,
she is
she's-
fantastic.
So many levels of.
I really enjoyed her very much. And I like horror films are interesting. They're such a cool genre, just in terms of the industry. Like I guess they're one of the most. It is the most profitable, successful genre out of anything else. Because it usually costs like next to nothing to make a film like that. Because really, they stayed in the house the whole time. Like, what were the effects and
Yeah,
like,
there
there's
were only
not
like
much
what
there.
5 actors really.
Yeah,
in the
so
movie?
like the cost, and that's what all horror films are like. They're all really cheap to, well, not cheap, but
cheaper.
inexpensive compared to everything else to produce. But they always do really well. Like everyone goes to see horror movies. Everybody likes horror. Horror movies will always make it to theater. Like they always do really well. That there's a real market for that, but they don't cost much, so they're good to make. And it's cool. I like that. I didn't know about females liking horror, like you had said. That's really interesting. I think that's fascinating. And I don't know. I mean, it's we all know it's a struggle for females to get into anything, but I mean, if horror is the way to go, I mean, that's kind of smart business-wise, I guess. I mean, it's cheaper to make, and women like it, so you got a lot of experience just naturally being a female. I don't know. I just think it's kind of. I find that interesting. I guess
Super
Just
interesting.
neat. Yeah. Like I did not like it. I don't like kids. Maybe kids annoy me.
Like I said, he was super annoying in the beginning, but I like him in the end. Like he takes care of business.
Yeah, but he's also an annoying kid.
He is an annoying kid, but I mean,
I just
kids
hate
are
kids.
inherently pretty annoying.
Yeah, I'm a real. I'm gonna be never having children, and I hate them. So maybe I just didn't like the kid. He did. Yes, he got better, and he like saved his mom, and he was much better. But
I get it. The first time I saw it, he would really, really annoyed me, and then
Yeah.
the second time, I kind of liked him a little more. I think he's like a great little actor, like his
Yeah.
facial expressions and his screams and.
yeah, he definitely. I mean, because he annoyed the shit out of me, which was the point.
That's
so,
the
I mean,
point.
he
Yeah,
did a
he's
good
supposed to be a
job.
little shit, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of he's falling through the cracks of society essentially.
Like, who fucking knows what he would have turned out?
Well,
turned
exactly.
into. Yeah.
So the mom kind of had to wake up from her stupor and be like, I need to
like,
protect
get her
my
shit
kid
together.
and I need to look after him and
Yeah.
invest in him. And so,
And that's not always pretty.
Yeah.
Because, again, if we treat this more of a, like, the Babadook wasn't real and that was just grief itself.
Yeah.
And it was just like a analogy? Metaphor.
Metaphor.
For grief. Then, yeah, it's not a easy, pretty process. You go through that anger and rage and you're a cruel person sometimes. You know, you don't... It's not easy to deal with that. And how could she possibly have dealt with that? She went into going into labor and her husband died, and then she all of a sudden had to be a mother to an infant. So when was her grief period? When did she ever get a chance to just be sad and deal with that? Because she had to be a single parent instantly.
yeah. And that's
Like,
all
did she
that
have
he's
money?
known as well,
Yeah.
right? And they're living in this like just dark and depressing as shit house.
Yeah. You know, like, and this kid doesn't get to have a birthday party because, of course not, because it's your kid's birthday, but it's also the anniversary of, like, the love of your life's death. Like, it's morbid as hell, and I feel bad for the kid, but I feel bad for her because she never got to ever get over it. Like, and now she actually had to deal with it because this kid's lashing out and acting out, and everyone's kind of cutting themselves off from them because they suck, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
And she had to fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
Get your shit together, and she did. So, I don't know. She locked the grief in the basement, and she still feeds it every once in a while, still acknowledges it, knows it's around.
Yeah, it was
But-
quieter today.
You know, but maybe that's just...
That's
I
just
need to
life,
have a
though. You
time
just
out,
need to
know,
deal
if
with
that's-
things sometimes and
Yeah.
take care of business and then move on.
Yeah. And you
And
have
it's
to
always
deal with it
there.
and
It's
deal
always
with it.
there, but
Of course, it's never going to go
you
away.
have to live your life.
Yeah. And, like, once you let it in, like, is that, like, the sadness? Like, you let the sadness in, you're never going to get rid of it. It's there.
Yeah.
You can deal with it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm liking it more and more as we go
Yay!
along. Ugh.
We win.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. No, I'm glad we did, because we can't always do fun, pretty things all the time.
Can't always do.
The cocktail was delicious, so that was helpful. I had my delightful black rose that we used for propping, and I just, like, held it really tightly when it got scary. I don't know if you saw me.
Oh, I saw.
I was, like, behind the blanket, but, like, holding my rose. Like, a little sword is going to protect me. Like, I just stupid plastic thing. It was my security blanket, along with my actual blanket. No, it was good. I like to do more stuff like that. And I love hearing about this other sides of it. That was really interesting.
Yeah,
And,
it's
you know, some of the things I read, too, and, like, how... what was the director's name? Sorry,
Jennifer Kent.
Jennifer Kent. How she really protected the boy, Noah, when filming. Like, he was not on set. Whenever the abuse scenes were happening, she was always doing it too, like an adult on their knees or whatever.
Yeah, she said she's not going to ruin his childhood for a movie.
which I really like. Like, that's...
That would actually be interesting to look into. Maybe, like, kids that have done horror movies and how it affected them later in life. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, and lots of kids... I think I'm probably totally wrong about this one, but I think... what is the girl's name from The Exorcist? Linda Blair?
Yeah.
I think I might be, I don't know. I read about one story. I thought it was this one, but maybe it's not. Where she actually didn't have any idea what the movie was about, and then saw it after and was like, "What the hell?" Like,
Well,
didn't
they
really
had
know.
her, like, masturbate with a crucifix, but I mean, it was just her, like, I think shoving it in a box that they had.
Yeah,
It's like she didn't know
You're
what
not
she
gonna
was
know what that
doing,
is,
right?
And then you watch it back, and it's like, oh my god, like,
Can you imagine? Then you
Holy
grow up and you watch
shit.
that movie and you're like, Jesus.
literally. But yeah, I appreciated how respectful and they treated this boy and didn't really tell him all the things, and because that's the thing, right? She had, like, just like you said, like, don't want to ruin some kid's childhood over a horror, just a movie. Like, Jesus, can you imagine? Yeah, it was fun. It was good to watch. I had fun.
Good.
I am intrigued by what other movie we were talking
Oh,
about?
It Follows?
I do kind of. It's gonna be scary too, but it sounds really interesting. Oh, spooky, scary. But I'll watch that one. Maybe even in, like, the dark.
Okay.
We'll think about it.
That'll be fun.
Ugh.
That's exciting.
Ugh.
Okay, well, thank you for watching. How
Okay.
many like top hats would we give this out of?
I would give this 3 top hats out of 6 spooky cloaks.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. And listening,
have
I
a good
guess,
day.
or
Yeah, and
whatever.
listen. Well, I was
Oh.
thanking you for watching.
Oh, me. You're welcome. Anytime.
Sorry to put you through this.
I'm so sorry. I'm also sorry. Have a great day, you and me and everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Woo.
We should do ASMR videos.
I hate those videos. Ew. No. Mm-mm.